In this video, we're going to talk about one of nature's most effective little assassins, a creature that's small, clever, and hiding some absolutely incredible biological secrets. Yup, we're diving into the world of the stoat. It's small, it's fast, and it's way smarter than you might think. But its greatest secrets? Well, they're hidden in its very biology. So let's find out what makes this tiny creature such an amazing master of survival. Alright, first things first, we've got to tackle a really common point of confusion. A lot of people mix up stoats with weasels, and hey, it's an easy mistake to make. But there are some super clear ways to tell them apart. Okay, so the number one giveaway, it's all in the tail. A stoat has this long, kind of bushy tail with a very obvious black tip. And it has that black tip all year long, no matter the season. Now, a weasel, it's smaller overall, and its tail is much shorter and just plain brown. So remember, black tip, that's your stoat. So what exactly is a stoat? Well, they belong to the mustelid family. This basically puts them in the same club as some other pretty famous hunters you've probably heard of, like badgers, otters, and ferrets. You know, they'll have that long, slinky body and a serious reputation for being fierce. And when you look at their size, there's a huge difference between the guys and the girls. The male stoats can be way bigger, like up to twice the weight of the females. And this isn't just a random fact. That size difference actually plays a huge part in the kind of territory they can hold and the kind of prey they can take down. Now, you might be wondering where you can find these guys. Well, they aren't just stuck in one corner of the world. Nope, these are truly global hunters. Stoats have what's called a circumpolar distribution. Fancy word, right? It just means they're found all across the northern half of the planet. I mean, we're talking everywhere from the forests of Europe and Asia, all the way to the chilly tundra of North America, and even the Arctic islands. They've really managed to adapt to a ton of different environments. So with all that hunting, you might think their numbers would be of concern. But actually, they're incredibly successful. Stoats are nowhere near being threatened or endangered. In fact, their official conservation status is least concern, which basically means they're doing just fine and are super common all over the world. Okay, let's get into the stoat's life cycle, because this part is, well, it's pretty intense, and honestly, some of it is just plain shocking. They live life in the fast lane, for sure. So, how long do they live? The average stoat? Only about 1 to 2 years. It's a really short lifespan. Sure, a few lucky ones might make it to 7, but for most of them, life in the wild is short and tough. So how do they make up for that super short life? By having a lot of babies. They are incredibly prolific. A single female can have a litter with as many as 12 kits. That's their way of making sure the next generation is always ready to go. Alright now, this is one of the coolest biological tricks I've ever heard of. It's called delayed implantation. Check this out. A female will mate in the summer, but she basically hits the pause button on her pregnancy for 9 to 10 months. The embryo just waits. It only starts developing the following spring. Why? So the kids are born at the absolute perfect time, right when there's plenty of food around. I mean, how smart is that? Okay, brace yourselves because this next fact it's just wild. Female stoat kids can get pregnant when they are just 3 weeks old. 3 weeks! We're talking while they're still blind, deaf, and have no fur, living in the den. It's an absolutely mind-boggling strategy to make sure they reproduce as much as possible in their short lives. So, what fuels this incredibly intense life cycle? Well, it all comes down to being an absolutely relentless and effective predator. Let's dig into how this tiny animal manages to punch so far above its weight class. I mean, it's a totally fair question, right? When you're this small, how do you do more than just survive? How do you thrive? The answer is all about what they eat and their very unique way of hunting. Stoats are 100% carnivores. Their main dish is usually small mammals, and they're famous for their ability to take down rabbits that can be 5 or even 10 times their own size. But they're not picky. They're opportunistic hunters, so they'll also go after birds, eggs, insects, basically whatever they can get their paws on. Watching a stoat hunt is like a masterclass in predatory strategy. First, it tracked its prey by scent. But then, it does something really weird. It performs this kind of hypnotic war dance, just a crazy series of jumps and twists. It sounds silly, but it seems to completely mesmerize its prey, like a rabbit, causing it to just freeze in confusion. And that's the moment the stoat strikes, pouncing with incredible speed and delivering a single, precise, killing bite to the back of the neck. And get this, they do it all on their own. Stoats are completely solitary creatures. They don't have packs, they don't have leaders or chiefs. Each stoat has its own territory that it defends fiercely, and they pretty much only interact with each other when it's time to mate. But, even a hunter this fierce has to watch its own back. Stoats have enemies too. They get hunted by bigger predators like foxes, birds of prey like owls and hawks, and yeah, even domestic cats. It's a good reminder that no matter how tough you are, in nature, you're always part of the food chain. Alright, to wrap things up, I've got a couple more unbelievable facts for you. These are the kinds of things that really make the stoat one of nature's little superstars. So, in the colder parts of their range, stoats pull off an incredible magic trick. As the days get shorter and the temperature drops, their brown summer coat completely transforms into a brilliant pure white. This stunning white fur is known as ermine, and for centuries, this fur, always with that iconic black tip on the tail, was seen as a symbol of royalty and purity. You'd see it on the robes of kings and queens. Pretty fancy for a little predator. But there's also a darker side to the stoat's story. Back in the 1800s, people brought them over to New Zealand. The idea was that they would help control the out-of-control rabbit population. But the plan backfired horribly. Instead of just hunting rabbits, the stoats found much easier prey, New Zealand's unique native birds, many of which can't fly, like the iconic kiwi. It's been absolutely devastating, and today, the stoat is considered public enemy number 1 for conservation in New Zealand. So, how do we see the stoat? Is it a tiny terror or a master of survival? Really, it's both. It's a complex little animal that proves one thing for sure. In nature, size is absolutely no measure of strength. Alright, that is it this video, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.